It's three guys who combined to play 15 seasons in the National Football League trenches. Well, two guys. And Mackey, who didn't do shit. This is the O-Line Committee.
All right, boys.
Hello.
We decided we were going to carve out a few extra minutes here for an extra episode.
It was too good of a weekend. We didn't get to everything.
I know.
No, I'm hoping that we can get to some of the stuff that we didn't get to in the next 15 or 20 minutes in the form of, because we can talk about each team however much we want. But now that we're like more than a third of the way through, the NFL standings are taking shape. And we're stealing this idea from, I don't know, some other podcast that we saw it on. It was a Barstool. Let's do a Super Bowl Contender Team Draft.
Oh.
So we're going to go 3 rounds. We each pick 3 different times. So there's going to be 9 teams drafted in order of how confident are you that this team can win this. So whoever gets the number 1 pick, you take the team that you are the most confident in that can win the Super Bowl. And then we'll go all the way through number 9.
Who gets the first pick?
I'm glad you asked that, Alex. That's a great logical question.
There's always
Coach.
something.
So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to pick second, and you guys are going to coin flip for the first overall pick.
Hey,
Whoever
rock,
loses
paper, scissors.
picks third.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper,
Ready,
scissors.
Alex?
2 out of 3 or just 1?
Just one.
Ready?
Okay. Here.
Rock,
Paper, scissors.
Shoot.
Hold
Oh,
it up.
I have paper with my gross scissors.
Okay,
I have
so
scissors.
Booney gets the first
Well,
overall
technically,
pick.
it could be scissors, too. I don't know.
It's broken ass.
It could
It's
be.
paper and
ass
scissors.
hand.
It just depends. I can rotate.
So, okay, so it's going to be
Damn it. Boone
Booney,
gets the
and we'll do a
Chiefs.
snake draft. So Boone, me, Jay, and then Jay, you get the wrap around in the second round.
Yeah.
So
All right.
I even got the sound effect for you, Booney.
All right. With the first
Which
pick,
team is most likely to win the Super Bowl?
Kansas City.
That was easy.
That was the easiest thing that I think any of us could have done.
You're not at all concerned. Travis Kelce, no touchdowns.
They're undefeated. They're undefeated.
December's going to roll around,
Stop.
and Travis is going to have 125 yards and 2 touchdowns.
She's going to start coming to more games. They're going to start fucking going crazy. Dude, listen. They couldn't beat them when they have nothing. They literally have fucking nothing, and you still can't beat them.
And don't be
He didn't
surprised
even
they go
throw
make a
for
trade.
Dude,
They
he
go-
didn't even throw for a touchdown last game, and
I
they
think-
still won.
Dark thought. Deontay Johnson from Carolina to Kansas City.
I could see Adam Thielen also on his way. Is he healthy at all?
I don't know.
Little red zone.
I
Mike
don't-
Williams?
Mike Williams would be a big
Could
one.
definitely
for them
see
because
Mike
Juju's
Williams
got
going
the
there.
hamstring.
They're
now.
going to get something, dude. I mean, that's my whole thing is they have to be number one. Number one, they're still undefeated. And by now you would have beaten them if you could have because they're barely chugging along.
And it's
if
not
you're
like they
the-
play slaps either.
Yeah,
if you're
no.
the Jets and you're now 2-5 and you're completely out of it after one game with Devontae
there's a
Adams,
chance.
would you spin Devontae Adams over to the
Hey,
to the
Devontae,
Chiefs
I
for
know
a
you
draft
just
pick?
got here, but tell your roommate you're leaving.
Same shit, different day.
So Booney takes the Chiefs.
Yep.
Take them off. I literally have a big board here that I'm
Dude,
crossing
that
names
meme you
off right
sent me, same shit.
Okay.
Okay.
I think it gets. I mean, the Chiefs were going to be like, how could he not?
Yeah, that's
even-
1-1.
I know. That's why I was.
This
one
is where it gets a little tougher.
Not at all. This should be easy for you.
With the number 2 pick,
Pick the Vikings.
Old Macadac selects
Don't.
the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, that's easy. It's so easy.
Is it?
Yes. Did you not see what just happened? Did you not see when the Brian Flores defense got exposed? Absolutely. And
Exposed.
what do you?
I wouldn't say exposed.
What do you want me to say? They didn't have a pick six. They barely were showing
But
up.
when I
Amon-Ra
hear
St. Brown was all over. We were running by people.
When I
in
hear
coverages.
exposed, I think like it's not fixable going forward. Do you
No,
think
I
that?
think no.
They
Exposed
put a
means we gave an
blueprint.
answer.
They
Yeah.
gave a blueprint for teams to beat them.
We show you.
It's
We showed you
now-
the answer. This is
Yes.
how you fix it. They're not going to. You don't have to worry about them if you do this. That's why I said they've exposed them. But at the same time, the two-headed beast of the running backs is still what I love about this team, and that's why I think they're two because they can run the ball, they can throw the ball, they can do a lot of things out of it. And by the way, their defense is really, really good, even without Aiden Hutchinson. We saw it this last weekend. And
Yeah,
don't
they
be
can still
surprised
get
if
after
they trade two for somebody. Don't be surprised.
Max Crosby. Yeah, I think if they add an edge rusher on top of what they're
dude.
doing.
Dude.
Okay, Jay.
Oh,
You get back-to-back
now
picks here.
you're
The
in
last
trouble,
pick in the
Jay, and
first
you
round.
have to do it.
I
You're going to do it.
I have both teams that I want to pick. I like this part. I'm going to go Ravens number 1.
Let's talk about them for just a
I'm
second.
going to go Ravens number 1. They are looking to round themselves into form with Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson. They've kind of figured out their identity. They slipped up a little bit against Cincinnati, but still found a way to win. They started out slow, but they're the team that's going to continue to build momentum. And when you start talking about games in November, December, and January, what are the teams that always rise? The teams that can run the football. Right. And as long as Derrick Henry can stay healthy and Lamar can stay healthy, that's going to be one of the best running football teams in the NFL. So you get deep into the playoffs, I really like what they could do.
And people kind of clown them after the Chiefs game where they're like, oh, that's all the Chiefs got. They better watch out next time. It's like, okay, just beat them first in January and see. But
beat Mahomes when there's snow on the
I want to see that game. I want to see that game, Booney.
Yeah. Absolutely, we do. And not only that, but you talk about the division they're in. Cleveland's clearly going to be out of it. Cincinnati, we're not sure what's going to happen. If you can beat the Pittsburgh Steelers twice and go out there, the division's yours. You're in the playoffs. And that's why they're just getting into form, and you're like, wow. I've seen some ugly football, like the Raiders game. It was like, what is this? I don't know what this is. But then all of a sudden, you're like, okay, they're back. And it's been a lot of fun. And the mixture of Ricard in there, not in there, Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, he's dishing it out to everybody. Like we talked, Isaiah Likely. You got Andrews back there. You got Bateman. I mean, dude, there's so many people everywhere that it's like, how are you going to defend this? And now the key is they've never really gone all the way. And so that's why it's like, for me, it's like you finally have to push yourself over that hump. And believe me, I've been at the hump, dude. We got there several times. And sometimes we didn't get over and sometimes we did. It is really hard to push yourself past that point. Can they do it? Does Derrick Henry give them that huge boost this year? It seems like so far, the minute they're like, hey, you know what? We forgot this guy's back here. Let's give him the ball a couple times. He just busts off these couple hundred runs. You're like, okay, now we got something cooking. Let's just do this and throw it over here. And it's so fun to watch. But can you sustain it against the great defenses? Can you do it against Kansas City when they got dudes everywhere and you're blocking Chris Jones? That's a huge question.
So okay, Jay, back to you here.
I got to go with the boys in blue, Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen.
You are such a hater, dude.
Amari Cooper's going to be a game changer for them. Right, you start figuring out Keon Coleman started coming into his own last week. You're starting to get more into the run game. James Cook, Deion Dawkins, Spencer Brown, really good tackles. The defense worries me slightly about Buffalo. But when you talk about getting into the playoffs and you talk about teams that have been right there multiple times, it's hard for me to bet against Josh Allen in January when they're making Super Bowl runs because he's just so freaking talented. So I'm taking Buffalo Bills.
I think you're kind of being a little bit of a hater here. Mackey, I think we should find him. No, I think Jay is. Yeah.
Hater on who?
You put the Bills over the Vikings?
I do, because in playoff football, quarterback play matters, and Sam Darnold is not Josh Allen.
Easy, Brody. I don't see Josh Allen
Sam Darnold is
any
not
trophies.
Josh Allen.
Yeah, and guess what? They're all sitting at the same shitting well going, well, we didn't do it. Like, you get in, you
there's
don't
one team happy at the end of the year. Don't
and it's never been Josh Allen, so why would I be like, I don't bet
against Darnold?
It's never been Bryce Young either. Same guy, Bryce Young and Josh Allen.
It's never been Lamar.
By Booney's logic.
Listen. That's my whole point. But you're going to put them over this way.
By your logic, Kansas City is the only people we can pick then because they're the only ones that's held it in the last 2 years. So
I mean, let's be honest. No one has yet to supplant them. But my whole point is, I can't believe you would put Buffalo over the Vikings right now.
Fine, you have the next pick, don't you?
I just said
it's back to me, and then Booney goes back to back here. So
okay.
I will take the Vikings.
I knew
with this next pick. And I'll tell you, I would have taken the Bills if they were there. If Jay would have let the Bills slip,
no chance.
Because again, like the Bills, the only thing you can say is, well, and people do, by the way, and people want people fired because the Bills can't beat the Chiefs. All right, the Utah Jazz couldn't beat the Bulls. It is just an unfortunate situation that Josh Allen was born around the same time as Patrick Mahomes. Period. Yeah. Like he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Lamar Jackson too. It's like blame their parents. I don't know. What are you supposed to do?
Should have banged earlier.
But I feel the same way about. I think you can say two things about Darnold. One, this is the best he's looked through the first month and a half of any season since USC.
Yeah.
And don't fully trust him yet. Not in an NFC Championship game or a Super Bowl.
But I trust Justin Jefferson, and I trust his ability to get open.
So you taking the Vikes then?
No,
I got the Vikes.
He took the Vikes. I have 6. I have the toughest one because I'm kind of in between two teams right now, and they're both available. And I'm like, man, where am I going with this? But I think
you get back-to-back picks here.
Oh, I do. All right. Well, then I'm going to do this. I'm going to go I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
I think that they've been playing some really good football. I think Jordan Love has the ability to move the ball around. At times they get stymied. It is what it is, but for the most part, their ability to be creative, I like what they do defensively. I think they're really good.
They're the number 1 rushing team in the NFL right now, too, aren't they?
Wow.
I think they. I
don't know.
I remember. I thought I heard them saying that during the game this week that they were leading the NFL in rushing.
Well, they had those couple games when Malik Willis was in.
That's right.
And so Jordan Love has been for always, but Josh Jacobs, that young kid, I got a client, Chris Brooks is up there. I mean, Zach Tom and Josh Myers and that crew up front,
They're
solid.
good.
They're not number 1, but they are 6th in yards per attempt. So they're
top 10. They're a top 10 rushing team. And again, we're offensive linemen on this show. Obviously, we respect the run game, especially when it comes to playoff time.
Yeah.
And by the way, before Boone makes his next pick, that means that of the first 6 picks in our Super Bowl Contender Draft, 3 come from the NFC North.
That's we've been talking about that, dude. Like how this has been such a great
It's the best
year
division
for the
of
North.
football. It's the best
And
division of football right now.
You have to think someone's going to get cut out. Someone's going to get lost in the shuffle because
Someone's
you can
not
only
going to make the playoffs.
That's my whole thing.
Who's got the balls to pick the Bears in the final round of our draft here?
No. I'd rather die.
I may have said that I may have a stake in a beer bet on it, so don't be mad at me
You do.
if I throw them in there. But
This is your last pick.
This
Here it
is my
is.
last. So
Do it.
Don't
Pick
be
the
cowards.
Bengals.
Don't be cowards.
Pick Joe Burrow.
Don't be a
no,
coward.
I'm going to go a little bit psycho on
Tua's
this one.
back. You could always go the Dolphins.
Dude, don't even get me started on them. All right. So we went Green Bay. I'm on my last pick, and this is going to bite me in the ass so bad. I know it is, but I can't. Philly. I'm going Philly.
Oh, wow. Oh, he's going.
You're going Nick Sirianni?
I kind of.
I don't know if Nick Sirianni makes the year.
Listen. I think
Wow,
as long as Saquon keeps his revenge game not happening, I think we're good. Okay. Once again, I mean AJ Brown's back. I like this connection. Offensive.
Bold pick.
Is Jordan Mailata coming back? That's a big question. I know he's on IR, but is he designated to come back?
Well, there's no more designated or not. It's just 4 weeks. COVID changed all that.
All right. Then I'm going Philly. I'm sorry. I have to.
That's interesting.
And
Wow.
I know. You know what it is? It's an over exaggeration of
I
them
don't
playing the
think
Giants.
they
That's
might-
exactly
yeah,
what
that's
that is.
100% what this
Because
is.
I'm like, damn, they were getting to fucking Daniel Jones like crazy. That you tell him, Vic, you only need to rush 4. But then I'm like, wait a minute, it's the Giants and they don't have Andrew Thomas. I forgot. Okay.
I mean, listen, man. The Eagles right now. The Eagles are 4-2. They're tied in the loss column with the Commanders.
It's going to
Jaden
be
Daniels got dinged.
interesting. And that's another thing is he's week to week. I read, which is more than day to day. And week to week means we'll see every week how he's feeling. It's not like, hey, we'll check every day. And
But if his ribs aren't broken, they can just shoot him up.
hey,
right,
buddy,
if
he's
they're
a
not
rookie.
broken-
Stop.
If they're not broken,
Daniel Snyder, stop it. Daniel Snyder, you need to stop.
Feel better?
Mike
More?
McDaniel,
Okay.
stop it.
Oh, jeez.
You need to stop yourself.
Tell
He
him I'm
is a
lying.
rookie.
Just tell me I'm lying.
No,
Tua,
I'm
by the
telling
way,
you, that's
was-
what they're doing.
Tua was grilled about the concussion thing.
He's not
obviously,
wearing
came
a
back.
Guardian cap. Did you see that?
Personal
Listen,
choice.
Can we
Personal
please
choice.
listen? Somebody
crazy.
get to him. Somebody get to him right now and just be like, you need to stop. You have gone so
At
far.
least
off
wear
with
the Guardian cap, dude.
Just
as
wear the
stupid as they
fucking Guardian
look,
cap.
it at least will help a little
Who
bit.
cares? I can't believe we're talking about this. Never mind.
I mean, somebody asked him, rightfully so, hey, to what extent do you weigh the risk here of coming back? And he said, well, there's risk when you wake up in the morning, when you cross the street. Like, well, when I cross the street,
When it's
ordinarily,
flashing red, when the hand's like this and it's flashing red, and I cross the street, there's an extra risk. Yours is full stop.
right. Ordinarily, Dexter Lawrence isn't flying at me in full pads when I'm
Right.
crossing the street. I don't know, but okay. So back to me with my final pick before Jay. I got to take the Houston Texans. I got to take the Houston Texans, and I don't know. I don't think the Houston Texans right now are one of the 2 best teams in the AFC. Because give me Chiefs, give me Bills too. So they're probably like the 4th best team in the AFC. But CJ Stroud, you got weapons all over the place. You got
Diggsy.
You got a
fighting
pass
everybody.
rush.
You got
Diggsy.
Diggsy fighting the whole stadium. Who gives
Never
a
the
shit?
bigger
Bring a
man,
million.
Diggsy.
Oh man, I'll never take the high road. I'm always gonna fight you on the way out. I mean,
I love that he's honest about it.
it is, and it's
Ever
but
think
you know
about
what? You know what sucks about that is when you walk off as a loss, it kind of just looks even worse. Like you're like, God damn it! If we would have won, this would have been so much better. But I agree with you. But here's my problem with them: their inconsistency and too many penalties, too many dumb things happening that you're like, dude, this is not what I saw last year. I feel like they're trying as hard as they absolutely can, whereas last year is more organic and natural. Joe Mixon, I still love the way he runs the ball. I still love what he does, but for the most part, it's the offensive line play at times. It's dudes lined up too far in the backfield. It's the holdings. It's all this illegal formation. It's all this shit that you're like, Jesus, dude, what's going on?
It's their division,
they're probably going to be 7-2 going into, and then they get like a pseudo bye after a Thursday game against the Jets. And then you're going to get Texans, Lions, Sunday Night Football, week 10.
Love it.
Inject it.
Gosh, this is a tough one for me on the last one here. I don't want to overreact.
You're a pussy. Do it. I already know what you're doing. I know what you're doing.
I know. Can we guess?
Is it AFC?
Hold
North?
on, I'm gonna text Boone.
Yes, it's AFC North.
I knew it.
Yeah, that's what I was, yeah.
I'm going to take the Steelers.
I knew it.
I'm going to take the Steelers, dude. I'm going to take it. Russell Wilson looked back to being Russell Wilson.
George Pickens made him back to being.
But that's the thing. If you look at what would made Russell great is he always had those big receivers. He can throw those 50 balls, the moon balls, as Chris Collinsworth gobbled him again. And he just thoughts there, and he's like, oh, did I talk about the moon ball? Yeah, we heard you, Chris. But, George Pickens is going to be amazing. Pat Freiermuth is going to get back involved again. Najee Harris is rounding out. And that defense is just terrifying.
They are.
Cam Hayward, TJ Watt, Micah Fitzpatrick. I mean, it is just so good to watch. And then at all of it, back when we did our head coach rankings at the beginning of the year, and I took Mike Tomlin as 1-1, he is proving why he is who he is.
That's a self-suck.
Love Mike Tomlin. I love what that Steelers thing's doing. If they can continue to get quality play out of Russell Wilson and Justin Fields if they need to, I think they have a chance. So give me the Steelers.
I don't know that we'll ever see Justin Fields again. I'm going to be honest with you.
Russell's old. I think he might get dinged. And I think that's why getting Justin those reps early in this year is going to be big for them.
But I think that's why they were kind of talking about during the game was when they were like, and Justin's there if they need it. They've seen enough from him. They were 4-2. They're good. We know what we have over here. We're going to continue to ride out this.
You could win a game. You get, Russell gets hurt for a couple weeks. You could go 2-0 or 1-1 with Justin. It doesn't derail your season.
Absolutely.
Right?
Listen, and I'm with you on this. Like the Steelers are making you put them in there with their defense. And for years and years, we heard in the rooms, defense wins championships. Offense sells tickets. That's how the fucking game works. And when your defense is ferocious and nasty, it's the same reason why we're putting Kansas City at number 1. Patrick Mahomes is doing barely enough to win them the game. The defense is showing up consistently. Last week, 3 interceptions. Like, dude, and even people are like, well, some of them aren't theirs. The one McKivitz gets pushed into him, and then he throws the interception. It's like, dude, it doesn't matter how they're getting it. They're getting it done. And we talked about Spags. But I think this is a badass 9 teams. Like, this bracket is the way it's shaping out. Now, here's the crazy thing. There's going to be teams that come in late October, like right now, early November, that start to just shake things out, and you're like, I didn't even see this.
49ers could still come down the backstretch.
I think it's more the Seahawks.
Chargers.
The Seahawks are kind of the dark horse for me. The Chargers,
no,
man,
the Chargers are trying too hard, dude. They're trying really hard.
They let the Cardinals out physical them. Like, that's going to be a tough week of practice.
Let's be honest.
For old Jimmy Harbaugh's team.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room. If there's going to be a team that comes out of nowhere, it's going to be like in Atlanta, where you're like, okay, I'm starting to believe more in this. I'm starting to buy it more. And Kirk's doing a hell of a job. I mean, dude, he threw for over 500. Dude, but he threw for over 500 yards against Tampa.
He was my fantasy quarterback.
But that's the whole point is, like, teams like this will start to shake themselves out. They'll start to figure themselves out, and they'll start to separate themselves from the rest of the divisions, which will be fun. And this is where it starts to make your money, is in November and December.
The results before we go are Boone's team is the Chiefs, the Packers, and the Eagles. Jay with the Ravens, Bills, and the Steelers. And then I get the Lions, the Vikings, and the Texans in our Super Bowl Contender
Draft. I went all AFC
draft.
here.
Yeah, well, it's the better conference.
Division. It's the better division for sure. Conference.
Yeah.
It's going to be fascinating to watch.
Is it, though? Because I feel like the NFC North is totally just giving the AFC a rivalry.
The top to bottom, if you were to rank 1 through 16, AFC, NFC, it's not even close. It's not even close. The bottom of the barrel NFC teams are terrible compared to the bottom of the barrel AFC teams.
New England, Cleveland, Tennessee, Jacksonville, Jets, Vegas, Miami. I don't know versus Carolina.
Miami with Tua, though, is a if.
But here's the problem. I feel like it's really even this year. I feel like there's a lot of parity going on here. I feel like that once it drops off for both of them after like 10, it drops the fuck off. Like it's like, okay, we got about 10.
Well,
good
that's
teams
why
left.
that's why the Super Wild Card Weekend's kind of like. I understand why we're doing this, but the difference between 8 and 2 is very large.
It's vast.
Like the
Drastic.
gap between, and everyone's like excited. We made the wild card. It's like,
Dude, think about it.
You got
8
one
to
more
2
week.
here is you
Kind
got
of.
Houston
You got
playing
week 19.
Denver. You got like Houston playing Denver. That's a big disparity. You got Washington playing Tampa Bay. Big disparity.
Hey, in the comments, let us know. Did we get this massively wrong? Who are the biggest
I
snubs?
almost
we
took the
definitely did.
Commanders. I think if Jaden Daniels was healthy right now, and he wasn't week to week, I might have bumped them over the.
But how about the fact that they didn't even miss a beat without him? Like all of a sudden, Marcus Mariota's in there, and we're like, "What
It
the
was
fuck?"
Carolina. And so
I
that's
know.
why
Don't
didn't do it.
overreact. Don't overreact.
I
Don't
didn't pull
overreact.
a Boone and overreact to them beating the Giants.
Oh,
Like,
you are
they stomped the Panthers. Woo! Like, I don't know. We'll see.
By the way, no mention of the Cowboys, but that's all the time we have left here in the show.
I'll get
See
you
you guys.
fired. I'll get you fired.